With the Iron Banner back in town, Rift is on the menu, and here are some strategies and loadout suggestion tips, my approach to Rift. I hope you find something useful in this video. So to start off with the loadout that I'm finding the most success with, this is Teraba, Peacekeepers, and Sentinel, specifically to proc Devour by getting double kills with Teraba. Solar Siphon, Solar Weapon, they drop an Orb of Light. I collect the Orb of Light, I get Devour. I use Teraba just in general. Teraba gets the Ravenous Beast perk, and once I hold reload and unleash the beast, it turns into a power weapon. Special weapon, not even. It is a power weapon. It is better than a machine gun. Speaking of, in the power slot, I have Reed's Regret. I think this is one of the best choice for power pools since it can wipe a team on its own. This one has Harmony and Liquid Coils so that after a primary or special kill and I swap to this, it hits harder. It'll body shot them. But also if I use Weapons of Light on my bubble, it'll also body shot. So it has some flexibility. I also recommend that if you get the Iron Banner machine gun with a very specific role, just to use that because it does have a perk called Skulking Wolf. So if your team's carrying the spark and you get a final blow, you are removed from the radar, which is huge for getting team wipes because you can sneak up on them when they're so focused in on the spark runner. The role I recommend is Extended Mag for both AE and more bullets pulled off the wall. Go Backup Mag as your mod, High Impact Reserves, and Field Prep. Then on the barrel, I would say Handling, just to boost the handling a little bit. You will notice how sluggish this thing is, and the range is more than enough being a high impact frame. As far as other power weapon suggestions, the other half, yes, you can Sword Hilt and Rift. It is there if you want to use that route, but if you're using Teraba, you're not swapping off the weapon, so there's no point of a Sword Hilt. You can Eager Edge your way with the Spark from one side to the other in one fell swoop and just dunk it in, and it catches people off guard. As for my special weapon pairing, I initially started playing Rift with like Lorentz Driver, Cloud Strike, that type of thing, and even when I would pick up 4, 5, 6 pieces with these weapons, it wasn't enough to guarantee the spark on my own. So I need something that has better ammo economy, aka a primary weapon, and Teraba answers that for me. I can kill anywhere from 11 to 20 Guardians to have to throw the spark on my own to dunk it. To help my team establish mid control, I started using a blinding grenade launcher, and it's worth its weight in gold. I started with a 1-2 punch shotty to deal with bubbles, but I had the realization that if I'm playing well anyway, I don't need to cancel bubbles because we're getting 3-0 score, and we're going to mercy the enemy team before they even get a bubble if I'm doing my job right. I grabbed an Iron Banner set, by the way. Just turned in engrams. First things I got, I applied Iron Banner ornaments. If you go to the tower, talk to, here we go, A-1, you can pick up some bounties, complete bounties. You get synthesis material, synthweave I think it's called. Turn that in to A-1 at the loom, and then you get transmog fuel. I know this is an obvious tip to some of y'all, but some players don't know. Then you use transmog on the old Iron Banner armor, on the new Iron Banner armor, and it stacks. You get a double bonus reward. I don't have an Iron Banner mark, so I just used my one from Prophecy. Then turned it into Finala's Iron Mark. So I'm getting double, 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 single, and then the emblem also applies to that. So I'm getting a lot of bonuses just for participating in the match. So that's awesome. So you know what I run on Titan. If you don't want to run Sentinel, Nom3, which is the user of Teraba, #1 Teraba user in my opinion, put this gun on the map, literally carries this gun in trials. Like in a single weekend of trials, can make this rise up to like the top 100 used weapons by themselves. So shout out to Nom. Nom says he runs Sunbreaker with a healing build, which is kind of the same thing as Devour, but with no activation. You choose when you need it. So I think skill ceiling wise, you could probably do more with Sunbreaker. Not to mention the super itself can wipe a team twice, and you can airstrike with it. So if you're feeling spicy, go Sunbreaker. Obviously, Classy Restoration, Lorelei is on the menu if you want to go that route instead of Peacekeepers. I also saw a lot of teams running Peregrine Greaves. It made a lot of sense for what they were trying to accomplish. I saw Wither Hordes in play. But ultimately, like I said, it's going to come down to me having the ammo economy to wipe a team multiple times, and I just can't guarantee that if I choose a special weapon as my main slayer. I am big dumb. I completely forgot to mention the revive meta. Precious Scars is incredible, and the worst part about this is you don't even have to run it until you're dead. So you can run something more useful like Lorelei Splendor or One-Eyed Mask, and then just switch to Precious Scars when you're down. It is super oppressive, and is worth considering if you want to win at all cost. I'm not telling you to use it, just making you aware. Always play the revive if you are in mid-map, but if you're in the enemy team spawn, sometimes it's not worth reviving, so that in the off chance that you fail dunking the spark, you are guaranteed to have a teammate able to stop the spark runner on your own side. So I also want to mention that I see you out there. I know how frustrating it is to be carrying your team and have them not revive you if you're the only one down off of just like a random Jotun shot or something like that, and you're yelling at the monitor like, just revive me, I've killed the whole team twice, just revive me, and they won't do it. The best tip is don't expect your teammates to revive. You got to be doing the reviving, you got to be doing the slaying, and you got to be doing the objective. Sometimes it's just out of your control and you can't defy those odds. It's too stacked against you. So just want to know you're not crazy. It is happening, but what else can you do? Back to our scheduled programming. So, Warlock and Hunter. For Warlock, I asked Twitter. I got recommendation of Ozymancy gloves, and that makes total sense, right? If everybody crowds together, you can use Ice Flare bolts and enhanced cold snaps to freeze everybody and chain some kills, and you can even bait revives to be the catalyst for that chain. Next one would be Secant Filaments. So you get Devour for free, and then you use something like No Time to Explain, Dead Man's Tail, Ace of Spades, those type of weapon, and Chain Devour. Then the final one is Astrocyte Verse for simple movement. This is my choice if I have to play Warlock, just because a lot of the times it's on my shoulders to score, and I'll explain that further when I jump into a private match. For Hunter, it's the only one I don't have right now. Shout out to Cool Guy. The video is linked in the description. His Caliban's hand review. The Coolaban's hand. You can blow up an entire team with this if they stand shoulder to shoulder. And it also has the best super for Rift. Golden Gun is the best super for just wiping a team multiple times. You just hop in the air, instant kill across the map. It refunds it, it ignites them, and they blow up again. So one Golden Gun can equal one spark score for sure. So if I'm making a hand-picked team of 6, this is going to be one member of the team. Someone who can rock Caliban's hand. If you're playing Hunter, this is the move. Watch the video, but I'll try to summarize it. You essentially create a wombo combo of an incendiary or a fusion grenade and then throw the knife. And not only do they blow up, but it's like a nuclear bomb goes off and everybody chains explosions. You have to see it to believe it. The other one I suggest, just stomp his forehead, move faster. Also, of course, Omnioculus. Pretty much anything you're about to suggest in the comments is good enough. Just play your life, and the next set of tips are going to be way more important than the loadout you bring in. Though the loadout is pretty important. I don't think I can win games if I'm not on Terrorba. It's just that simple. The team balancing is that crazy. And if you run into me this week at any point, and I'm not using Terrorba, I'm probably just playing for fun, using Sweet Business or something like that. Where do we want to go? Bannerfall. As for the mods I chose, I originally built my armor set on a Solar Titan, but then I decided later I was playing Void, so that's why these Peacekeepers are Solar, because picking up the orb would replenish my health and stacking all that healing on top of each other. Very useful. This was just the first armor I pulled. Ideally, I'd want my stat splits to look something like 5, 10, 7. So right off the rip, the first minute of the game is the most important, because this is when you're assessing your team's strength. If you notice that your team stays in the spawn and doesn't leave this window, that window, and just stays planted, you lost the game. So now it's on your shoulders to win it by yourself. So my opening route starts off, let's start from 0. I go inside the base, and my goal is to get the instant radar read so I know how the enemy team is spread apart. So right about here, I should be getting my radar pings. I know if someone's popping up at that bottom hallway, if someone's on top, or if someone's at the alley. And depending on how many I physically see with the face check right here is going to decide where I'm placing my blinding grenade launcher, which is hella useful in this mode. So let's just assume that majority of people pop up at this hallway entrance. So what I'm going to be doing is shooting GL, throwing grenade, and then if another person's behind me, shoot another, and then just try to get my kill because anybody splashed by that grenade is volatile, and I recover some health. So I'm already fighting. If they're focused in on me and like are really hungry for my kill, I'll just barricade up, play my life, and pray that a teammate gets brave enough to push out. If not, again, it's on me. Try to pick up that double kill. Maybe an Orb of Light falls. I get Devour. I have Ravenous Beast. And now here's the part where you can win the game by yourself. If your team is absolute trash, you do not let them take the spark. You pick that up yourself. And this is why I recommended Titan or Astrocyte Blink, because Shoulder Charge is so desyncy from the opponent's point of view. So right when you grab the spark, you want to be sneaky with it. You don't want to be fighting. And the reason is, right when you grab the spark, you are marked on the opposing team's point of view. They can see you through the wall because there's an indicator on the HUD. So for the first maybe 10, 15 seconds, just keep bouncing between the same places, letting your team be the meat shields, and try to get some kills. If your team gets enough kills, just go for it. Hit Rab Beast, hold forward, destroy them. If not, and your team loses that, what you want to be doing is working your way farthest away from your own spark. So that way, if you die, you have a chance to stop the enemy team by yourself again. So I'll be hanging out back here, waiting for somebody to challenge me. I'll try to use my grenade. I'll try to use my barricade so that they can't land a shot on me. Because if they land a shot on me, I'm now marked for the enemy team and they can see me through the wall. And that can be both a blessing and a curse. Let me show you how shoulder charge looks when you dunk. Nobody's going to be able to hit you through that. So you quite literally rob the enemy team of stopping the score. Then after this, you get transmatted. I think your special weapon is reset to default ammo. And now it starts again. So opening route. Check radar. I change up this route depending on how they adjust to me. Farming Rav, farming Devour, keeping them off my team, keeping my team as healthy as possible. If my team is good, I'll try to drop them an overshield. I'll let someone else be the spark runner. If they're bad, this is my opportunity. Now I'm marked on the enemy team's HUD. If I know I have Rab Beast and Devour up, and I'm marked on the HUD, I want to show them where I'm going, right? I want to run over here. And now all of them are going to start funneling in here to stop me. And if it's solo queue, they're not going to have communication. So there's always going to be 1 or 2 weak links. And that's when you proc Rab Beast and start farming. Once you get 3 or 4 down, that's when you just send it. Because they're not going to be able to hit your shoulder charge. And I am not joking when I say I have solo queued 2-minute matches. And it's just over like that because the mercy rule at 3-0. What else? Power ammo comes into play when it's a very back and forth game. So remember when I grabbed the spark and I ran it all the way to alley and I said, if I die here, I have a chance to stop the enemy team again by myself? It's kind of the same idea. If a teammate just cannot get through, we don't have the kill volume to get us through and also deal with spawners, then what you want to do is wait for power ammo or try to build up a super. And so we're going to wait for power ammo here, 30 seconds. Sometimes the play is to play the clock. Right now it says 25 minutes, but if this was a normal match, it'd be like, what, 3, 4, 5 minutes left? Sometimes you have such a score lead, it is physically impossible for them to catch up. So sometimes it's worth just wasting their time You don't even have to do anything specific. Just live for a long time. And sometimes you can make a giant brain play if you have a teammate on the same wavelength as you, where you intentionally jump off the map or ricochet around yourself so that the spark drops, teammate picks up the spark and revives you, and then the timer is reset. This is assuming that your team has a fortress set up, maybe has a super pop, that type of thing. All you're doing is playing the clock. You don't care about scoring anymore. Now let's grab some power ammo here. And I'll demo exactly how this goes down. Sometimes I wipe the entire team on my own from afar, even without Harmony. It's just all headshot type thing. But ideally you proc Harmony with Rab Beast if you've been building it up leading to power ammo. You take your one Rab Beast kill, then from here, just hip fire it down. Anybody that looks at you wrong, hip fire it down. Machine gun them down. And once you knock out 4 to 5 to 6 of them, and it's a complete team wipe, and your team has presence here, or at market up top, they have pulse rifles, that type of thing, the opposing team will spawn outside. So here's the biggest brain thing you can do, is if your team is very obviously going to score, don't run up there with them. Turn around and start farming some super. If you go outside with Rab Beast or a machine gun or something like that, the opposing team will be spawning like right here at Stump. And you just rip them apart while they're in the spawn animation and get that super. And now if you have first super, the score might be 2-0 like it is now. You throw a bubble down in mid, your teammates get some more of a light, you get weapons of light, and you trash the opposing team. Try to rush that Mercy. So to recap, the first minute of the game, you assess your teammates. If they're not moving past this point right here, it's on you. Now your life is the most valuable thing in the game. You need to bait your teammates. You need to try to proc Ravenous Beast, Devour, whatever your win condition is. You need to get to that so that you can wipe the entire enemy team by yourself. You can pick up the spark by yourself. Then you can wipe the entire enemy team again by yourself and score by yourself. It is way easier said than done, and sometimes borderline impossible. Sometimes you get teammates that throw where they pick up the spark, they'll make it to like this green box and then just be hesitant despite the entire enemy team being dead in the kill feed. And I'm yelling at the screen like, just dunk! You have opportunities! You have 10 seconds of nobody shooting at you! Go! And they're just like lost in the sauce, taking their time. It's so frustrating. I just want you to know if that's happening to you, it also happens to me. You are not alone. Let's look at the map rotation here. The map rotation is Bannerfall, Convergence, and Disjunction. Let's look at Convergence first because I think that map plays terribly. So Rift is selected. Good. So I showed you my Bannerfall strategy. It is get to mid, assess the situation, blind, build up your win condition, get to either inside the base or the market, like top market area. It's where people normally snipe challenge each other. Don't do that, by the way. And just play it based on the kill feed. If there's enough kills, you go in. If there's not enough kills, keep building up your win condition and being sneaky. If you're spotted, the Doom music plays and you gotta wipe the whole team by yourself because they are gunning for you. And if you're playing the stall time strat, the clock is now the objective. So just remember all that. Long range, go to top market. Short range, go to base. Win mid. If your team isn't playing, you have to carry. Should be assumed. I'm repeating it for clarity here because some of y'all need to hear it. Tired of the complaining. It is what it is. Okay, so on this map, you need to get to mid. Forget about waterfall. Forget about going under. You need to get to mid first. Because that's where the spark is. Because other people have to physically be near the spark to pick it up, you're always taking close quarters duel. Long range isn't even an option here. So, usually I make it to this point and the radar tells me if someone else is also rushing up. Sometimes if I jump to get a face check right here, someone is already at the equivalent of this position, laning with the sniper, waiting for somebody to jump. And sometimes it's a cloud strike and that can be very scary. So you can use your shoulder charge to get the free info peek if you need to with like the third person camera. But a lot of times I risk it. If I know I have 4 or 5 teammates right here, I will risk it because getting that opening blind at that choke can quite literally win you the match right there. Because now they're blind, they're volatile, you're working this, you're getting your Devour proc, Meanwhile, the opponents might be funneling into waterfall and getting angles on bridge, but it doesn't matter. You have more people in mid, and you're completely wiping the stragglers. Just want to get as many bodies to mid as you can. That's the strategy for this map. If you're doing the waterfall thing, what's going to happen is you're a blueberry and they're a blueberry, take a sniper fight, one of them wins, and it's ultimately useless. Even if you get the revive, it's useless. It just wastes so much time. You're not getting the spark, you're not getting power ammo. If I ever go this side, it is just to get in their face and end up behind them. So I want to be winning against the snipers here. Then I want to pop up here and hopefully shoot the people who are participating in the lane war from here and here with your teammates also throwing the game. So ideally, everybody goes to mid. They play super aggro. You get the spark. And if you had a good enough opener, the enemy team can't even stop this if you just beeline it. Like, they won't even respawn in time to prevent this. And so that's why Convergence is a shit map for this mode. Because they will spawn all the way up there and not be able to physically make it in time. Not to mention, a Caliban Hunter can trap that door anyway and just wipe the team on their own because no one's going to take the slow route to stop the spark being dunked. Disjunction has a lot more angles to consider and a lot more strategy. This one's kind of solved. Make it to mid. Win mid. Push them back. If you know people are flying in waterfall, push them back. Grab your spark. Play your cover. Build up your win condition. Get a couple numbers and score. Sometimes there is a rare instance where you might be the first to die. Then you spawn all the way back in the map again, and you have to prevent the spark from being dunked. And my grenade launcher, for some reason, can one-hit KO to the body. So I just use that, and I stop the dunk by myself. And sometimes you can pick up the spark, and if the whole enemy team is in your spawn, and you happen to break line of sight and just go, even if you're marked on their HUD, they can't physically speed up fast enough to catch you from just going all the way into their spawn by yourself. And you get this angle right here, and you dunk before they can even make it from your spawn back to their original spawn. It's crazy how many points I've been given for free just because the enemy team is too focused on killing your teammates in your own spawn versus stopping the spark runner. Alright, now let's load up Disjunction. That'll be what the gameplay linked at the end of this video has. Should be the default map. Perfect. Now, shout out to Relict, who makes the cartography maps, the nice little ones that I draw over. Shout out to Relict on Twitter. That link will be in the description despite me not using any of these maps in this video, just because I forgot on the last one. Sometimes I'm forgetful on that type of thing, so definitely just shoot me a DM if that type of thing ever happens. Okay, so this should be starting up. My goal is usually the same as Bannerfall, which is rush mid, get your radar pings, blind, play my life, build up my win condition, repeat. Disjunction is so big, though, that I can throw a wrench depending on what people bring to the table. If there's a lot of scout rifles, that's a problem for you. Not that they're really gaining ground, but again, sometimes your teammates are so much worse that if you go down, you've just lost the game. Oh, fun thing you can do with shoulder charge. You can shoulder charge your teammates, and they will fly into this area and be the first here. So, worth mentioning if you're in sixes. So, right here, you could already die if someone has Astro Sight and a snipe. So, you want to be very, very hesitant jumping up to here, unless you're just really confident that someone's going to peek there. Go ahead and burn your one special GL shot right there. Sometimes I like jumping to this rock. Again, getting the little face peek check for how many people are here. Shooting my grenade launcher, following up with grenade. I have higher discipline. I have 10 on my normal setup, but maybe snipers converge on that cube. Just blind them. Be a nuisance. You don't actually have to get any kills here. Once you grab the spark, unlike the other maps, this is not a free dunk. I'm going to show you what I mean. If I wipe the enemy team with a cloud strike, and then I push up by myself, Here's where the entire enemy team is going to be positioned. You're going to have some homies right here. Some up here. Some working these inner hallways just to get a radar read. And if you fly in, you're going to get gunned down. They're going to grab the spark, and then they're going to go to your side where you're doing the same equivalent thing. So it's not free once you have the spark. I'll show you the routes I like to take. I like choosing all the way to the left or all the way to the right, not really down mid, because it doesn't give me close quarters options. So sometimes I'll go to the swamp area. My team would be grabbing power. Doesn't even matter if I'm the only one with the spark, because I'm confident that if I die, I can stop them again by myself. So this is the area I like to camp out. Easy to build Teraba, and if I'm the spark runner and they see the spark, they will just rush me, moths to a flame, build up Teraba, waste their time. My team's grabbing power ammo, and even if I drop the spark, the fact that like 4 or 5 of my teammates grab power ammo means that the round can be a wrap right there. So I hope this video maybe told you something new or reinforced things that you already knew were important, but are like, yeah, I'm going to do more of that. I'm going to focus in on that. Thanks for watching the vid. Enjoy the Teraba gameplay. Remember, the first half is mute. That is my B. Okay, well, my Guardian's twerking here. I forgot to mention the rewards from Saladin.
The Iron Banner has come.
I think you should focus on the Frontier's Cry because 180 RPMs are getting a buff. And if you get extended mag on this, and then you run Icarus Grip, you can get up to 69 aerial effectiveness on just the weapon itself, which is incredible. I recommend Kill Clip on the right column, and the left column doesn't really matter too much, personal preference. Adagio is also pretty good on the right column. Other than that, the machine gun is good in this game mode. Reese Walker is potentially a best-in-slot shotgun. The role you're thinking of with max range and quick draw or surplus is the one to go for. Hero's Burden leaves a little bit to be desired. We were waiting for an adaptive frame to finally return, but of course this one has 14 zoom instead of the 17 zoom, so we're going to have to keep waiting. This one has Repulsor Brace, which is really cool on Void Titans, and I do recommend trying that out at some point, but I wouldn't break your back over going for that specific role when you get so much more mileage out of Frontier's Cry or Reese Walker. Controller players, P-Spawn's excellent. Wise and Review, it's a high impact that can get some stability perks on both columns when they combine. It's alright. I prefer others. That's it. Enjoy the gameplay.
Ignite the rift with the spark. Sear your foes. Charging the spark.
Yeah, you can really punish this as well. Got 2.
Seize it.
Go on me. Good.
That's 2. 3 opponents.
Nice.
Run
I'm
around.
going for everything. I might spawn out here.
Your runner is moving in. Defend your runner before it's too late. 2 down. Your runner is under fire. You force through the place like a war beast on the hunt. Resetting. Time for a transmat. Charging the spark. The spark is ready.
One is under.
Strike at 1. Your runner is under fire.
I have Rev. Using it.
I'm in their base.
I'm almost to their base. In their base. I'm farming.
Yep, true. Nice.
Very nice.
When we push on their base like that, they always spawn the swamp. Or the inside swamp. I don't fucking know. Heavy side. Nice work.
I'm setting up the farm.
Yep.
I died in it, so they're going to be pretty fortified. I'll grab power if we need a retake.
I got Jotun. Alright.
All good. I'll have power ammo this time. I'm gonna bubble. I found their spark runner. Blind. Very weak. Very weak.
I'm coming for the board.
Oh, I almost got knocked out of my bubble. I need a weapon kill. There it is. Alright, now I have harmony. Devour.
Alright, I think I got a call there.
That's perfect. That was fantastic footage for